Media Center here at the LPGA Mediheal Championship. Once again, if you have any questions for Lucy, please make sure that you stay muted until we open it up, and please utilize the chat function of the Zoom call to let me know if you have a question. If you do, I will call on you to unmute yourself when we open it up. But without any further ado, Lucy, welcome to the LPGA Mediheal Championship. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just super excited to be here. I'm excited to get the week started.
For you, you come into this week after your best career finish in the U.S. Women's Open. Just take me through what last week was like from qualifying and then making your appearance there last week.
Yeah, I remember when they announced that the Open would be at Olympic Club a few years ago, and that was like something I was looking forward to for a really long time. So being able to qualify for that was a huge goal of mine this year, and so I'm happy I was able to do that and have a good week out there. I just had so much fun playing that course. I love that course so much, and being able to be at home and have a good week was really nice.
How many times had you played Olympic before last week?
Before I had qualified, I'd actually played it once when I was like 9. And then after I qualified, I played it a couple of times before I went out for tournaments. So,
I was telling you earlier, but if I had an over-under for the number of times we saw you as a young one with the ice cream scoop after a round, when you're at the U.S. Women's Open, how much does that tournament mean to you and your journey into becoming a professional?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's kind of what I'm known for. There's no really, escaping that. I saw some of the clips on social media and stuff. I didn't really watch much of the broadcast, but I saw some of my friends sending in clips and stuff like that. And obviously the U.S. Open is, the biggest tournament of the year. And so, that tournament means a lot to me, especially that's kind of, where I got my jump started in my career. And so, every time I go back and play that tournament, it's just a memorable experience.
What was it like being able to sleep? Were you sleeping at home and still being able to participate in a major? I mean, how many other people can say that they can do that?
Yeah, for sure. I live like 30 minutes away from the course, so it was nice to be able to sleep in my own bed and have, some family around. So kind of helped me, stay relaxed out there. It's kind of just just nice to be home and eat some home cooked meals and know where to go and stuff like that. It was really nice.
And now you're also staying at home for this week as well. Tell me what it was like when you learned that you'd be able to compete here this week.
Yeah, I was super, super excited. I think I found out I was going to play this tournament before I qualified for the Open. So, knowing that I'd be able to play 2 weeks back-to-back at home was, like, definitely something I was super looking forward to, and I'm still super excited about it.
You've been now a professional for a little bit, I would say over a year, and I know you've been playing well in the Sumatra Tour. What has the last year of being a professional been like for you?
Yeah, it's been a really good learning experience. I feel like I played pretty good last year and this year, but there's a lot of some things to improve, and I feel like going into this year, especially mentally, I feel like I learned a lot from last year, and a lot of those kind of virtues like patience and stuff like that. I know something I learned last year. I definitely came into use last week at the Open.
And for you, just when it comes to playing at Lake Merced, you've played here many times. We were talking about how you used to be a junior member, and now this is, I would assume, one of your home courses. What's it like to be teeing it up in an LPGA event on one of your home courses?
Yeah, for sure. I spend my winters in the desert, so I'm not up here as much as often as I'd like to be. But when I am out here, I'm out here a lot. I try to practice at Lake Merced and some other courses as much as I can. So, it's really nice to be able to play a course that I'm a little bit more familiar with, and I'm just really excited to play such an beautiful course.
What do you like most about Lake Merced Golf Club?
Probably the people. I'm good friends with the GM here, and he's always been so supportive and kind to me, and the head pro and everyone, all the members. I know quite a few members, and they've always been so supportive of me, and so I feel really appreciative of that.
Once again, if you have any questions for Lucy, please let me know on the chat function of the Zoom call. We do have a couple questions here. He isn't able to say it, but I'll read them for you. What are 3 keys to playing well in your mind?
I think number one is just, being, just being mentally prepared, being a little more relaxed. I play better, when I'm not so nervous and stuff like that. But number one is definitely mentally, and then having the patience, knowing like when you hit bad shots and things like that, being able to come back from that, that definitely came in last week. I had a couple of rounds where it was like 2 over, 3 over, and just being able to stay patient and take every shot at a time is a huge thing.
When you consider your game and how you've grown as a golfer, would you consider you more old school or a new school kind of player? Do you focus more on technology, or is it more about feel for you?
I would say I'm definitely more of an old school player. I did get a TrackMan, but that was mostly just to see like my swing speed and stuff like that. I don't really focus in on too much of the numbers. It's more of swing speed and carry distances. I don't really get into kind of the really technical stuff. And I'd say my swing definitely looks more old school with a flatter swing plane and longer backswing. So yeah.
And the last one from Bob here. Did you set goals for yourself at the beginning of this year? And what would you care to share them if you would like?
I mean, I think the goals I set were more like towards like improvement. So like gaining like 5 or 10 yards off the tee, which I think I already did, and mentally, one of my big goals was like if I'm playing poorly, not to get frustrated or upset on the golf course, and that's something I've definitely improved a lot on. And then obviously qualifying for the Open at Olympic Club, so it was nice to be able to do that.
I know there's some similarities, but definitely some differences playing this week compared to last week. I mean, how much is it saying a warm-up, a major championship for this week?
Yeah, I think that kind of this area of, play a sort of similar type of golf. The rough won't be quite as thick this week, but it's kind of the same general idea of it's going to be pretty windy, the fairways are pretty narrow, there's trees. So, obviously last week was a really good warm-up, playing an even tougher course coming to this, and being able to play pretty well is a good confidence boost.
A good confidence boost and nothing like a T16 finish. How incredible did that feel after a grueling process of getting through the Olympic Club?
The first 3 days were kind of up and down for me. I think I started the tournament off like 3 over through 6 or something like that. And, so I was able to kind of rein it back in. And then the last day I hit the ball so well and the putts just would not go in. I hit like 12 fairways, which is like insane, and so many greens. And I mean, the putts just wouldn't fall. But, it was a solid round. So, I just had I think it was just a solid week, so.
All right, Barry, I know you have some questions. If you'd like to unmute yourself.
Yeah. First of all, are you still in Redwood Shores?
Yes.
The only reason I ask is I live in Foster City. There used to be a driving range in Redwood Shores. Is that way before your time, or are you aware of it?
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, well, just shows you how things are.
That's cool.
Who's your teacher?
Sorry, what did you say?
Who's your coach?
Oh, I don't have a coach.
But that's interesting. Are you aware, you touched on Lake Merced, you have playing privileges there. There's a history of that. Dorothy Dellison, I know, going back years ago, a similar situation. Talk a little bit about the unusual membership and the inclusive nature of Lake Merced Golf Club.
I started, I know the GM out here, and so he was always super supportive of me, and he kind of let me come out and practice here, and I actually know quite a few members here just from other things, and so, it's nice to be able to come out and practice here and, see some people I recognize, and I think the membership has actually grown quite a lot in the last year because of COVID, so it's nice to see that the golf course is doing really well, and the tees are usually super packed and the driving range is super packed, so it's nice to see that.
Great. Hey, Arthur, thanks a lot.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I can't speak. I think that will do it for us here, if that's okay. Thank you, Lucy, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. Nice job.